Let me go ahead and get the tweets out.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, we live. You could do your little intro real quick. I'm just gonna make sure I tweet it and put it up.
Worse.
Kenzo the Great. So my man said, "Go ahead if you want to talk first, so we can get it popping." This nigga left. You
You
get,
already live?
yeah, we've been live. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, let me do the intro real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yee. You already know. Wrestle behind the curtain. I got the merch. Kenzo got the merch. 20% off right now. It's in the description box. Make sure you cop that. Don't worry about the voice unless you like it because it's raspy and it's all good. You know what I mean? But under the weather still, so we're recovering. Shout out to C4 because rock. I don't know if it's about the Black Adam or whatever, but you dropped the ball. We're trying to get sponsorship. You ain't doing it for me right now. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it together. Um, Discord popping. Go to get in there. Like I said, merch 20% off. Go get that. If you're watching this, you want to join the chat, you got to join the YouTube membership. Don't subscribe. I'm not talking about subscribe. I'm talking about you can do that too. But you got to join the membership if you want to do the live chats. That's how we rocking in 2023. You know what I mean? That's if you want to talk. If you don't want to talk, just watch. Other than that, you know what I mean? Let my man Kenzo the Great get his intro in, and we can tell you what we're doing. Wrestle Kingdom 17.
You already know what it is. It's your boy, Kenzo the Great. And we started off 2023 with Wrestle Kingdom. New Japan style, Everyone knows I like the G1. If you're not new to the channel, if you're new, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, again. But if you're not new, and you probably checked out my videos before, I like New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you know that, then G1 is a big one, Wrestle Kingdom is the other big one. Bar none. And they did not hold back. Chance one. You checked out the whole card, right? You didn't just because I know we had talked about certain things that had happened. So I know you went back and looked at that stuff because neither one of us watched it live because again we live in Florida, so
Yeah, y'all was tripping. Y'all was,
man, that's 3-4 a.m.
y'all was
Again, I
tripping.
do really like New Japan, but I also have other stuff going on. I can't be up waiting up. I can't do it. Even though I have people texting me about it because there's other people I know who watch it.
Yeah, they was
I didn't yet because I was like y'all was up watching it, so I know y'all asleep now.
they was tripping.
So
They was tripping at that time. But I went back and watched some of it now. Like I told you, I didn't get to the Jay White, which is Jay White's my man. That's one of my favorites. But I didn't get to that match yet. But I know the outcome obviously. But I didn't get to that match yet. But other than that, yeah, I'm all caught up.
all right, so I will say, obviously, again, we don't watch it live, so I knew the results of everything but Jay White and Okada before I watched it, and obviously we do know the result of that. Obviously, spoiler alert, blah blah blah. You here for a reason. So again, the card did not disappoint. I do suggest you go back and watch Jay White and Okada because it was good. It's like literally a minute shorter than the Kenny Osprey match, but I mean not as good. I will say that because Kenny versus Osprey might be the best.
I mean, how do you follow that? How did you follow that?
I think that's part of the problem. But I mean, if you were talking about ranks of belts, that's the order it had to go in. But we get out of order here. Let's start from the top. So they opened up the card with an exhibition match, 3 minute time limit, and of course when they time limit to New Japan, well not New Japan, and wrestling in general, a lot of times they have time limit to have a draw. We almost always know that. Every time we see an hour-long Iron Man match, it's most likely going to be a draw because we want to get the third of a treat of a whatever, right? of a trilogy. Sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the time. So that was a decent match. Then we had the 4-way match that it was Great O'Connor, Chancedtegang Show, and Toriano. So that was a decent match. It's gonna follow up at New Year Dash. Blah 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 blah. Then you had another tag team match. No, this is a 6-man tag. This is for the Inoki Memorial because Anthony Inoki passed away last year. He was instrumental in New Japan. Without him, there's no New Japan. You should obviously. So that was a decent match. So Tiger Mask and Minoru Suzuki actually lost that match, which is actually surprising. Then we had a tag team match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team, where we saw an appearance from your boy Leo Rush, or as he's known in New Japan, just Leo. He lost. So he did not get a chance to. So the champions keep the belts. Catch-22. They hold on to their belts. Then this is where the American fans start getting excited. Kairi Sane, or Kairi now, formerly known as Kairi Sane on WWE. It was her time. It was her time to shine. Her first title defense for the belt, and she won it. And then the lights go off.
Lights.
Familiar music. It's not quite the same music.
Yo, come on. I know you caught it, right? That's that crisscross. That's that crisscross.
WWE, it would be boss time. That's what happened. Because, formerly known as Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné came out. And,
Did you heard that it had the criss?
That pop.
You heard that it had the crisscross in there, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what's funny?
What?
You could tell. So, reason why I asked you which link you use, because the link I was using before, it was switching back and forth between English and Japanese commentary. I want to know if you had English commentary, because when Sasha comes out, when the lights go down, the commentator goes, I've heard rumors, and you're like, it can't be anybody else, because there's nothing, everything about this pay-per-view, this special event, is leading up to the end. But it's like, we all know there's little rumblings going on. So Sasha come out in the middle. This is the fifth card in the match. This Kyrie's first defense, which I think is also another thing. Because what do they always say about Sasha when she was Sasha? Now Mercedes Moné. Every time she got a belt, she couldn't defend. So now here comes somebody who's defending for her first title defense, won it, and here comes Mercedes Moné, and winning fire promo. I definitely suggest everyone goes and check that out. It's obviously in English. You don't speak Japanese, so check that out for sure. We're gonna move along here with the card here.
How'd you feel about the debut though?
I mean, as far as the debut could go without a match, it's as good as it goes, especially in New Japan. Again, you already knew what was going to happen. We could see later on with Kenny a lot, and we're going to talk about that. But we talk about this all the time. When you have non-Japanese wrestlers going, and maybe you could argue it's a little racist still, because, he used to have in WWE the opposite way. Whenever you have Americans, North Americans, whichever you want to call it, because, want to include our Canadians, go over there, they're almost always going to be a heel. And it always works. So, you knew, and again, if you're gonna have somebody come in as a heel, a lot of times somebody who's used to being a babyface, and they finally like let's say if John Cena was to ever go somewhere else, you'd be like, damn, he got to go to New Japan because he's finally gonna turn heel because there's no other way to do it. Sasha Mercedes was always a heel, not always, but we know the heel is what she want to do. We know it's what she's good at. So come on, that's coming over. Of course, that power promo. I think we're gonna see a lot more. When we see in ring, that's when it's really gonna go crazy, and I can't wait.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna hold you, son. I'm kind of upset that your background that I made kind of looks fire right now. I'm not even gonna lie, but let's keep moving. But yeah, I'm happy that she debuted. I knew she was. I think she might do a little longer stint in New Japan than I thought, but we'll talk about this in another video because I definitely want to. There's stronger rumors that she's probably going to AEW.
New Japan, now she can't work both. We know how those contract structures work. There's not WWE, so you can always work more. Shit. We can talk about maybe they gotta change WWE soon because we looking at all these permutations. Look, using this as an example, when she comes out, okay, this is not new to New Japan, but they say all the accolades she have, and of course where are they gonna say it? They say 7 singles, they say 8 tag teams, and they say in WWE. Where else are you gonna say it? She isn't. She's also other places, but what is she known for, right? So I think, if we get the wrestling world busted all the way wide open, we talk about it all the time. Obviously, there's got to be some level of let's not have just switching all over the place because we know how unorganized that could get. But again, we talk about how good the territories was for certain things, about being able to jump at the right time when the story goes stale, keeping things alive, looking at things from different angles. It might be time to go back to that. Maybe not to that extent, but that's how all the big boys work together again.
But we said that last year. Like, one, I said a Triple H getting control. He's way more open to join other shits. And then 2, I said, because remember, we did do, I know I came up with it, but I know we all agreed that WrestleMania should be like WrestleMania of everyone, like from everywhere.
Yeah.
So we can get to some shit like that to where, you know what I mean, like Triple H, we got WWE guys, NXT guys going to New Japan, going to AEW, going to Impact. Like bring MLW there too. You know what I'm saying? Because they were kind of on their thing in 2022, and then they kind of fell. No shots of my Hammerstone. You know what I mean? I know you was looking at our IG. We're gonna get you on here one day, son. We're gonna get you here one day. But you know what I'm saying? If we get all, like, why not? Like, I don't give a shit about that whole fighting, like WWE for life, fuck AEW. Like, I'm all about, yo, what if Jay White showed up and fought AJ? What if AJ showed up and fought Kenny? What if fucking God came in and took on the Usos? Like, fire shit. But we can feature book later. But yeah, I don't even know where we went because I got off on a rant. But I mean, oh yeah, because you was talking about like she probably could go to WWE too because Shinsuke did the Noah thing, right?
Yeah.
Carl Anderson, obviously, we'll talk about him in a minute. He was in New Japan, so they allowed Bailey because I'm pretty sure if it was Vince, it wouldn't have happened. But they allowed Bailey and they allowed Naomi to go over there. So I mean, depending on what kind of stronghold New Japan and
now that you're saying all those names you just said, you know what's coming. There's a lot more women wrestlers than male wrestlers, which might be a really good thing. Because we talk about the slate of all the women's divisions. I mean, again, New Japan is not really what they know for, but the reason why they don't get a lot of flack for it is because they got Stardom right next door, which is the all women promotion. So I mean, how can you give them flack? They got when they have that on their doorstep, basically, who they do work with from time to time, including for this event that just passed. But then you got AEW. We talk about it. Yes, we got some bangers. We talk about how much we like Jade and Britt and but under them, it gets pretty shiesty. And then we talk about WWE, how, you know, yes, again, talent, but no division. So if we bust the hard wide open, we work with Stardom. Hey, the women's division might benefit more than the men's because men's there's just so many things you can do. And there's so many ways to fumble. Women,
you already know.
Chance.
You already know my imaginary, but much respect, Andrade. Wifey back. You know what I mean? She back.
I'm saying, hey. Again, WWE, we might throw off some stones sometimes, but we'll take the creative writing job for the right salary. I'm just saying. Hit us up. You know where to find us. Join the YouTube membership if you're really about it. WWE. All right, let's move on.
Word, especially if you want to talk during the live chats right now. If you want to talk during the live chats, it was free last year. No shade, no disrespect, but we're trying to get the chance to new things. We on 10K right now. I know y'all fuck with us.
Bigger, better things.
I know y'all fuck with us. It's $5.99. It's not that much. $5.99 for 30 days. I mean, you buy a pack of Skittles, you buy Big Macs, you buy what you buy. $5.99 for 30 days. Ain't hard. You jump up in here.
Can't argue that logic.
Say what you gotta say. Shirt is on, in the discount, 20% off.
Did we mention the merch? We just got merch. The merch is actually on sale right now. 20% off. I mean, because every time you get the merch, you got the merch right now.
And the Discord is free. At least join the Discord, it's free.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Let's keep it popping. All right, another big talking point as far as the North American aspect. Because again, like I say, I like New Japan, but let's keep it honest. We know where our audience is. It's over here. So.
Keep it fucking fresh. I didn't mean to interrupt you again.
Bishamon versus FTR.
Wait, hold on.
What's up?
There's a Dynamite tonight, right?
Correct.
I think maybe depending on the card, because we have Jericho and Ricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the card, I think we might want to hop up on and do another recap after Dynamite, depending on what your sleep look like. You know what I mean? I don't want to mess up your sleep.
No, we'll see how it goes.
But y'all say we trying to do a little more this year, so we can get some more people up in here. You know what I mean? Because we got the casuals right now. We need to get some more. But go ahead, my bad, because I interrupted you like 4 times. Go ahead.
You straight.
Takis.
Hey, sponsor. Bishamon.
Word.
That's Goto and Yoshihashi. Maybe the FTR. You know who FTR is. Dax and Cash. And people are complaining about this on Twitter.
Why?
We talked about this in the group chat.
Why? They couldn't hold the belts forever. Why?
We talked about the same thing with Kenny when he was the belt collector. When people collect belts, you gotta lose them the right way people think. And we talk about wrestling. Wrestling fans are toxic. That's what the shirt said. Go get it. It's very divisive. There is no correct way. That's the thing when we talk about wrestling Twitter and stuff. We talk about how people always complain. Obviously, those aren't the same exact people. So but we talk about it in general. And because so many people are going to complain about one way or the other because wrestling is divisive, it's really, no matter which way this went, people are going to complain. I think if you're going to lose belts, how many times are FTR going to be over there in Japan? Yeah, they did a good run, and to exclude New Japan might have been disrespectful, to be honest. And I'm glad they made it as part of their plans. But let's be honest here, that was never the long term. These guys, they live over here. They're always wrestling over here. I mean, what do people expect? They're gonna wrestle for 6 months? I don't get it. Was they gonna make it to the G1 still holding the belts? I don't know. I really don't get what else people wanted. I think they did what they could do, and we should get it popping. It's cool with me. I don't know. It was, again, good match. Go check it out. Wasn't too long. It was only 10 minutes. But I mean, again, let's Chance got to say. I think the next one he got a lot to say about. So.
Oh yeah, next one. But that was a cool match. I didn't really stay on it that much. Like I kind of skipped like the little 10 seconds, because I was trying to hurry up and get here before we did the live. But basically you covered it. Like y'all mad. Like the initial thing I saw was, oh, they're losing all the belts. They're going back to WWE. One, they may go back to WWE because maybe they're done with the CM Punk shit. You know what I mean? Dax catching slack for that. They are still cool with Cody. Or they might just really just feel like they fuck with Triple H and want to go back. It ain't got nothing to do with losing the belts. It's exactly what he said. You collect belts. They've had them for a while. They had every belt for a while. You can't sit there and you guys complain about it all the time about my cousin Roman, strong holding the belt. You can't keep the belt forever and not let it rotate because then y'all gonna complain about that.
I'm just saying. I remember the outrage when they won the Lucha belts. Yes. Now we talk about why they losing all the belts. Oh my goodness, it doesn't matter. We talk about it again. Wrestling fans can't satisfy them. So hey, let's talk about. You know what's funny? The next one we're not really gonna talk about the match. It's Zack Sabre Jr. We both got respect for him. He won the match, but let's talk about this belt. Oh man, I wish you could just slap that all right on at the same time. We really need to get that in there. But this TV belt, new TV belt,
that is the ugliest belt I've ever seen in my life.
It is horrendous. It is, and New Japan already got a belt.
We got a belt, and it ain't even that ugly.
Yeah, 100%. I'd rather our belt than that TV belt.
It looks like a big ass square or rectangle, and then it just says New Japan.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And the crazy thing is they're known, at least for me, they're known on making fire belts.
Yeah, that's one of their things, for sure.
I do think they need to take that belt back and put it back to the old heavyweight championship belt. We'll talk about that later, because that new, it do look, someone said it in the community chat on YouTube, it does look a little divish, like the Divas belt. But they need to take it back to the OG belt, like maybe, or you could remix it if you want to. But the OG belt was just fire. I think that belt was probably like the.
It was beautiful. You can't beat that.
Besides the one winged. Besides the winged.
Kidding in your head.
You know what I mean? But besides that belt, like there was nothing prettier than that New Japan World Title.
I can see that. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Which is you can pretty much say that's probably where AEW got it from.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, are we done with that? Because I mean, the match was cool.
It was submission.
The match was cool, but the belt was. Oh, he joined.
Match and submission was cool. Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, again, I think you should go check out this card regardless. But you know.
And he joined. What is it? TKDM or something like that.
Yeah. And next we had our boy Chancedtegang defeated our guy Carl Anderson for the openweight championship, the never openweight championship. So that means Carl Anderson has lost that belt that I said did he win it at the G1 or did he defend it at the G1? But I do remember for the G1 video, I was like, why does he even have this? But I'm pretty sure he won it at the G1. So now he's lost it. And who knows what's next for Carl Anderson or the Good Brothers in general. You got anything on this chance? I already know how much to say. It was a 9-minute match. It was decent, but like...
I felt like Carl was gonna...
I'm not sure what the open championship is supposed to even be. I might have to double back and look at that. Might have to do why you should be watching for that. I don't know. But I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but...
I feel like
who's away or something? It's not doing a very good job.
I feel like Carl was gonna lose. Like I kind of thought it was a given. Like to be honest, especially because they had the whole thing of he's holding them up and he's not coming. He'll come when he wants to. They had that thing going on. Then they have the whole really if Chancedtegang isn't really, I mean I know it's still his brother, but if he isn't really repping God like that because he's doing singles, if he doesn't win that belt, where does he go from here? I don't see him as, I don't even want to say shade as of right now. Maybe do a little more, but as of the character, the way that it is right now in this present stage, I don't really see him as world title holder. You know
I
what
get what you're saying, but here, think about New Japan that AEW did early on that they've lost touch with, and we keep saying they need to go back to, and we hope that WWE learns. But maybe they don't need to learn because the roster isn't as bloated as rotating the roster. When you're not involved in New Japan, like when you're not around the title scene or you're not a really good mid card talent, you're gone. You're not on our TVs we're asking for more. We're asking, what are you doing? Like, we should talk about. I want to talk about Raw very briefly, which is surprising to me. The Hurt Business in the background, beautiful touch. AEW, I like that. WWE, I fucks with it. We can talk about that later. That's chef's kiss. You need that subtle shit. But again, that's the stuff New Japan doesn't have because they don't do backstage segments as much. They don't do all that stuff. So if you're not wrestling and you're not doing it, you're not on a 78% win streak like World Ospreay or all those type of crazy stats, you're gone. So, like you said, Tama Tonga kind of had to win this because Carl Anderson don't be around anyway. He'd be the one who won. So, I think this was a perfect way to do it. Again, which is a lot more on that than I thought we had to say.
I think. Well, I can add to it. I can elaborate. I can put some more into it. If we pause, the fact that he does have it, and like I said, if we're gonna get the elevation of Tama to maybe push him to the, has he won the U.S. title? He hasn't, right?
Who, Tama Tonga?
Yeah. Because you're more involved in New Japan. If we're going to elevate him to the next level and, push him up to the U.S. or to the world, then I think he should make this open belt like fire. Like go on a crazy run, like have his character elevate to another status and go wild and then really defend that belt. Even if it's with outsiders, like outsiders come in, whatever. Like you get a Moxley, I mean, it's not going to be Moxley, but you get a Moxley come through and try to do something with it.
Well, we've seen before where, I mean, let's not say nobody's because that's kind of rude, but we've had this, I mean, again, it's called the Open Championship, so we think, to me, that keeps reminding me of an open challenge, like, what John Cena did with the U.S. belt, we've seen what Cody did with the TNT belt at first. That's why I keep thinking in my head, if he goes on one of those runs, because, again, there could be strangers to the New Japan crowd, or maybe just guys who are not around as much, or maybe guys who, middling, whatever, if he just goes through and he just, like, crushes 10 dudes in a row or whatever. That might be the way to go. But because I just keep thinking open challenge in my head because it's called the never open weight. So, again, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but if that's what it is. Hey, I think the idea is supposed to be, doesn't matter what you weigh, you could win this because it's not a heavyweight. But that kind of sounds stupid because then it's just basically a lightweight belt, which they also have. So I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. But if he goes in the right run, he can change what the belt's supposed to mean.
Definitely. Or not taking away from him. In 2023, New Japan, why don't you get rid of some shit and actually make the titles mean something?
I mean, again,
because I don't know if it was you or Luca, aka Villain in the chat that said they have like 4,000 titles.
Yeah, that was Luca. Yeah. He's like, they have too many. They seriously do.
So let's figure that out. All right, next.
Which is why we had they have the argument of who's the real what you want to call it Triple Crown, but that was already on another video. Go check that out. I already discussed it.
Jay White.
Next match, this was kind of too low on the card for me, but I know why they did it because it was Muto's last match. The great Muto, he's big in Japan. He's actually one of the executives right now over at Noah. So yeah, it was him, Hiroshi Tanahashi, one of my favorites, and Shota Umino. They defeated LIJ because again it was Muto's last match. It was a 6-man tag. Nothing crazy. You had to give the guy a good send off. It was 9 minutes, whatever, right? Next one,
yeah,
we had a 4-way match.
I didn't really watch that one.
For the Junior Heavyweight Championship, and Hiromu Takahashi defeated Desperado, Wato, and the champion Ishimori. Ishimori is probably going to fail upwards, I think, but again, with a lot of things that's going on here, we really don't know because there's so many moving pieces in New Japan because a lot of these guys, they talk about we're going to talk about with these next 2 matches.
All right, so break it down real quick for the people. Break it down for people.
Full time.
Break it down for people like me that are a little light on the New Japan and people that might just come in that don't know shit about it. What's the difference or what's the correlation or with New Japan and Noah?
So Noah's a separate promotion, but they've always had a working relationship, right? So again, maybe that comes from over there in Japan, the island. Yes, there's a lot of different wrestling companies, but it's like you gotta know to work with each other. Noah's relatively new.
Alright,
so it was like 2000.
So Noah's like
AEW. Yeah, it's the newest one.
And New Japan is like WWE.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know if we got to it. We passed it already.
Except with a working relationship.
Because I saw the invasion of Noah, so that's why I was
Yeah.
curious who. Okay, got it.
Yeah. All the Japanese promotions, they're not together, but they do have working relationships better than we seem to have over here so far. But it wasn't always like that, I will say. All right, let's get to that next thing, because again, it was a stacked card. What are we on? We on 10 now. No, we on 11, and it's that big thing. It's we might have to break these down into their own video.
Yo, so it started at what time in the morning for us? Like 1?
I think it started at 1:30.
So it was like 1 to 7.
Yeah.
Yo, the people in that crowd are soldiers.
Let's think about it. Let me say. First match 3 minutes.
So that's
second match 30 minutes.
So that's their WrestleMania.
What's up?
That's their WrestleMania.
I mean, yeah, because the G1 is over more days. So yeah, I would say Wrestle Kingdom is more WrestleMania than G1. But
Okay.
G1 might be a bigger event because of how long it is, because the whole month. It's not the World Cup. Well, yeah, you know what? The G1 is the World Cup, and Wrestle Kingdom is WrestleMania because it's 2 nights. They split them up. This is the first night. The other night is like the 17th or some shit. It's far away. But yeah, this is why it's so long. First match 3 minutes, and that's the only one with a time limit. Then you got 30 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 16, 34, 33. That's not including entrances. That's just match time. So So people talk about the New Japan crowd a lot. Hey, think about sitting through all that and still being hyped for this match you're about to talk about. Let's get into it, because it's my skin been.
It's true that they were allowed. It's true that they were allowed to cheer in this one, right?
Huh?
It's true that they were allowed to cheer for this one because normally they're not allowed to cheer.
Well, the thing about it, it's not that. Okay, so it's not a loud thing. There's a culture around the way wrestling in Japan is, because you know that a card is built towards the end, because a match is built towards the end. There's what's the word I'm looking for? Stigma. Like, it's looked down upon. It's not a rule, but it's looked down upon if you get too excited too early, because then they figure you're probably gonna burn out. Because hey, what else? Which might actually have happened for this match if we talk about it, because they weren't burned out for this. We'll talk about the next match, and again, we talk about how do you follow that. How do you follow that? And also, that's why you pick matches the way you're supposed to pick them. It shouldn't have happened. Yeah. Again, talk about it's a belt ranking thing. It had to go in that order because the New Japan heavyweight belt is the most important. The U.S. title, actually surprised they even put that above the junior heavyweight, because it's usually the other way order around. They're starting to give it some more clout because of who was it and who won this match.
Yeah.
But yes, they were definitely allowed to cheer, because this crowd, I went dumb. I was in.
Yeah, this match was fire. This match was fire. What else? What else did you expect? It's pretty much.
I hope
Kenny, my best friend that we know, because we watched Spider-Man together. Everybody knows this. In Orlando, and then pretty much the younger version of Kenny.
I hope we have a lot more good matches this year. And I don't see how this doesn't win match of the year, even though we are in literally the first week of the year. That's what's insane. This match, again, y'all know me. I mean, me and Kenny, we have the same name. Come on now. I mean, y'all know I'm a Kenny Omega fan. I got the merch. I talk about this all the time. He got videos on the channel by me. Y'all know. But as this match goes on, and remember, I know the result of this match. I've seen it on Twitter. As the match goes on,
I got a question for you.
I'm going for Ospreay.
Do you know offhand how long it takes to get from here to New Japan?
You mean like fly?
No, nigga, run. Of course.
I mean, unless you got boat money, I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's probably 17.
Oh, it's like Australia. Yo, imagine hitting the Wrestle Kingdom one time.
No, Japan on my list. So I gotta hit them up somehow. Whether it be for wrestling, for anime, for both.
So we're gonna manifest it. When the channel gets where it needs to get, we need that invitation, so we can go out there and we can peak something.
Oh, sure, we'll cover it. I got no problem covering Wrestle Kingdom. I got no problem learning the crowd culture. Make sure I ain't clapping, getting too excited too early because they don't put Kenny Omega on the top of a car for some reason, because they have done that before. So,
all right, let's get it.
Again, big Kenny Omega fans on the channel, we know that. And again, I know Kenny was going to win this match because I already knew the result before I started watching it. Because first of all, people had already texted me complaining that he had won it because they didn't want him to. But as I watched this match, I was like, yo, again, I actually started to understand the frustration with Kenny winning. But if you this match, let's be honest, it was Will Ospreay again, great babyface moment. But this was a torture. He was getting demolished. I don't know. Maybe Don Callis on comms was influencing me a lot.
Yeah, he was making it look like he was getting crushed.
I mean, at a lot of points, he was. And again, if you know wrestling, you know the reason why. He went down in that spot in the corner so they could blade because there's no way that DDT off the top will actually split him open. But I honestly, if I hadn't watched New Japan before, I wouldn't have recognized that was a DDT because I've seen that happen before. Way in an old video, I watched it. I didn't watch it live. I'm not that old. But if I had known this to be a thing, I was like, did they just botch? Did they fall? Because I was tripping at first. I was like, wait, that was DDT. Oh, wait, now he's on the ground.
But it kind
of, and he gets something like, oh, he's pulling blood. Like, oh,
but it kind of looked like Carl did that with Tama earlier.
Yeah,
Something similar. But yeah, go ahead.
But again, that's something that I could again. We talk about this show. We talk about WWE improving and AEW what they need to do to improve. This show, everything about it, especially these last two matches, couldn't have happened on anywhere but New Japan. That's
let's talk about the intro alone. Kenny's intro in New Japan is way fire in AEW.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. And again, it's Wrestle Kingdom, so they have the long runway which you have at WrestleMania and stuff like that. So it makes it even bigger. But again, this match, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I want to say that's not recency bias and all. Like Kenny was on some of his best heel work.
And look good.
Awful things being done to Will Ospreay. He was just like, and it's to the point where even Don Callis was like, yo, we gotta stop this match for Will Ospreay's sake. Forget all this Kenny stuff. Yeah, I love Kenny. But Will Ospreay is a talented athlete. We can't let his career end like this. We talk about career ending. Like, okay, yeah, he bleeding all this stuff, but come on now.
And we know all the injuries that Kenny had. It looked like he was in the best shape of his life.
That was another thing. That's like I'm trying to pick a topic here, and it's so hard. We can pick just Ospreay. We pick just Kenny because again, this is Kenny's only second match in basically a year. He was injured, all this other stuff, and again, the storytelling. You could tell the whole match he was trying to set up for the V-trigger, but Ospreay's not giving that to him. So he's trying to beat him another way. But Ospreay's not going out to nothing but a one-way trigger, which the Viga trigger.
This is why I don't understand why people hate so much on Kenny and don't understand, like, Kenny and the Young Bucks and shit. They're storytellers. Like, so just like you said, he's setting up for the V-trigger the whole time, but he's not getting it. People don't pay attention to that. Oh, he's just flippity and jumping out and doing all this shit, but you're not watching the story of how much he's trying to get, even with the Okada matches, how he was trying so hard to get the wing it, you know what I mean, and couldn't get it. Like, people just don't understand, like, the storytelling that they do is crazy. But, but people hate
these two in particular is real life injuries again. So you got Ospreay's going for all the things that we know with injured Kenny. He had a bad back, all this other stuff. Then you got for Kenny, Ospreay had a laceration on his neck at one point. Yeah, I think he had an actual real life kidney problem, and so Kenny's attacking the kidney, and they just keep going. I'm like, and it's to the point. Honestly, again, I know the result, but I didn't know how long this match was supposed to be. So I think we got to the 25-ish minute mark. I'm like, Ospreay is fucking dead. There's no way he wins this match. And then I think Kenny tried to set up another V trigger.
Question: Has Ospreay ever went that long?
A 30-minute? I think he's gone 30 minutes before, but up until that, but not a war like that. I think he's gone 30 minutes where 50-50 or 30 minutes where he might have been more dominant. Not this was he was the worker because he was getting worked over. So on that spot where he holds Kenny's ankle because Kenny's going to set up for another vision to end it, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Is this where we're gonna get the fight back, babyface come back? And again, remember, I know he loses, and they still trick me into thinking like, wait, time out. Because that spot right there, he holds on, and then he actually has a nice fight back, and he's fighting back. I'm watching this.
Are you talking about when he hit the stunner?
Yeah.
Or the cutter?
Yeah, the super cutter. Yeah. He hit a couple cutters. And that's the one where he actually goes up to the second rope, and he goes for the cutter. Mm-hmm. At that point, I'm like, wait, time out. There's no way he. Because remember, I'm watching at 1.5, and because again, I'll say this about New Japan. If you're trying to watch it as early as we were watching it for this video, and just in general, as how I already have to watch it because what time would it be at? I don't watch it at number speed because it's a little, especially in the beginning of matches, it's a little slow tempo. I had to put this bitch back on 1 at this point because Ospreay is starting to go. It was a little too fast for the 1.5. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought this guy was out of it. So that's why we ended up with 10 more minutes. Because at that point, I'm like, we can't get 10 more minutes of this. There's no way. And then they made it work. You had Callis just going crazy on the mic. Again, we might have to do a video just for the next match alone because this match right here had everything. Everything.
Is this technically their first one? Because I know they said that they did in the PWB. What is it?
PWG.
Yeah, they said they did there before. And I know they had like I know they had a tag team in AEW, but one-on-one style. This is like their first.
Not first. They're going to count because I think they've done one in England and one in PWG. But if you want to talk about like big, yeah, this is the first time on any of the big guys, yeah, for sure.
Because I would go trilogy like he did with Okada.
I mean, the Okada trilogy is, that's like biblical to me. But this has potential to be better because of the thing is though.
Because they're both the same type too. Because Okada is more like the Okada and what's his name, Kenny, to me is like the AJ and Roman were. Like, Roman is kind of slower, certain movesets, but it works because AJ can work. So that's how I saw that match. And they were all fire, like you just said, biblical. It's all fire. But to me, this match is more like if you had like a fucking Kenny versus AJ, or that too. But Kenny like versus Seth, or Seth versus AJ.
Yeah, I can see that.
More the same.
So we definitely got to run this back. Again, if not, I'm just gonna jump in because you asked this question for Jay. Because again, we already know what happens next. But I think we should talk about this for Will. What is outside of the trilogy or rematch, whatever? Where does Jay go? Where does Will go from here? What do you think? Because I don't see what else. I feel like I don't want to say New Japan disrespects him because that might be a fucking hyperbole. But we know he's not, again, as a non-Japanese guy, and he's not really a heel. It's not really his thing. He can be a bit of a dick, but babyface is really what he really wants to do. New Japan really doesn't seem to be maybe the best idea for him, but we've already seen him on AEW. That wasn't too special. And we can't keep just working every guy over to WWE. I just don't see. I think he needs a good run. But again, he just lost. So where does it come from? What's next? I don't know.
As this is iteration the word I'm trying to be better this year. Iteration?
Yeah.
That's a good word, right? At this iteration of his character, you know what I mean? It's the same thing with Tama Tonga. I don't see him as world. We already did US, which cool, maybe back and forth. Cool. As world, at this state in time of your character, I don't really see it. Let's go to AEW. AEW, he didn't look bad in AEW. Like, United Empire had some good shit. Like, they weren't horrible. I can see if, in fact, which I think is going to happen, maybe even more so with Kenny with the US belt, if the Elite gets the Trios belt back, I could see a United Empire back and forth. Then they take the Trios. I can see that. As far as let's just throw the other one. Impact. Impact is cool because it's very dense, and I don't mean in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying that the pool is not that many people are in the pool. So depending on what their promotion
My problem with Impact is that's my answer for Jay. So because I think that's what Jay got to do next. The US and J tour coming back. I think he got to come to Impact. So that's why I don't think they can't put both of these.
But I
can't leave the same place and go to the same place.
But I don't think Impact crowd knows Will like that. So the next up would be WWE. But with WWE, unless you bring United Empire, no one really knows. Like, I wouldn't see them pop for him in WWE or Royal Rumble because I don't really think the crowd knows him like that. You know what I mean? So who would he feud? Ali, Ricochet? Like, unless you turn that whole division around, which they could, because they're letting Ricochet go the way they let him go. They let Ali finally go. Like, not necessarily bring the cruiserweight shit back.
That's something that made me think of something. The Rumble. Mm-hmm. If we go back down this list of people who lost in Wrestle Kingdom, we go back down that list and see how many of these people are free agents. You might have some. Hey, Triple H, we gave you a lot of faith. Rumble on the 28th of January. Wrestle Kingdom has another event on the 17th. I think, hey, if he could find a way to get some of these losers into the Rumble for a quick pop, and we could see. Because again, I'm asking questions about where does Jay go, where does Will go, what does Carl Anderson do next? All three of those guys lost. Yeah. One of them is obviously good on WWE. Why not? I mean, again, We're talking about a new wrestling world.
Well,
Why not for a quick 3 month stop
I get to
after
J,
the
I get to Jay.
Rumble to WrestleMania?
I get to Jay after we do the recap of his match. But like for the Will thing, like I said, maybe even I guess you could because the belts are kind of low over there. Why not bring the cruiserweight back? Have Ricochet, Ali, like because there's what is Ali doing? Like we know he can go. They're not letting him go. What is he doing? I'm not necessarily saying have another show again, like the 205 shit, but at least have the belt. Because what is he doing? He's not doing nothing. So you have him.
When they got rid of 205 Live at first, they did have the belt still. It was just part of NXT. It was just that was. I mean, again, that was one of those good ideas, but you know.
So if you have him, you have Ricochet, you have Cedric Alexander, you have maybe Will, like you have a fire division to where shit could pop off. Other than that, I don't see him going anywhere except AEW, like I said, with the United Empire trio shit. But
well, Will, you got options. So,
but his promo definitely looked like it was more so of if you don't figure it out New Japan, I'm out.
It did seem like that. Because it was basically, what else do I have to do here?
Which is nothing really. But that's the thing too. But it could be just because I don't live in Japan. I'm not trying to be that guy, but so it's not really my program, my cup of tea. So it's kind of to me like it's like when I see fire talent, it's like, come on, bro, what are you doing over there? Like, come on over here. But like I said, it's because I don't live over there. If I lived over there, I'd probably be like, yo, you better stay here. But as far as that's like, you did everything you could. All the greats leave. AJ, Finn, like, so. But all right, let's get to the last match that I didn't get to fully watch yet.
All right, yeah. So Chad's gonna go back and watch this match. You definitely should.
Well, it's my man's. You know what I mean?
And I did see some rumblings and the same complaints online about the results of this one. Okada.
I was definitely the John Cena of New Japan. No hate to
Okada defeats Jay White.
No hate to Okada because you're a cool dude, but as far as New Japan, we all know Okada's like John Cena over there.
So okay, this was a good match. I gotta say again, go back and check it. But it was hard to follow that last match, maybe because I was so heavily invested. But again, this is the better belt. I didn't think Okada was gonna win, but well, it's not the most surprising. In the words of a friend of mine, New Japan's always kissing his ass. So it's not the most surprising thing. Again, not to say he didn't earn it or nothing. Again, good match, all that stuff. Just not probably what I would pick. But again, I'm not a booker, so no one's paying me for that yet.
We could be though.
Could be WWE, all that mean AEW. Shit, New Japan. Come on.
Shit, MLW, let's go.
Shit, yes, reserve. PWG, you need to come back. Hey, whatever.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
Y'all know where to find us.
I'm not gonna lie.
So,
if I'm not gonna lie, if we had, let's put it into the universe. If we had dough like that, or it became that, I'd have like a little indie shit around here, like World Culture did.
Oh yeah, a little quick hit. Hey, I wouldn't mind. Not gonna see me taking bumps, but.
No, I didn't mean me. I mean maybe a fantasy booking, but I meant more so like just a little promotion.
I feel what you mean. That was a cool little fire shit they had it for real. So yeah, this match again. I really, as good as this match was, there's not spots like that last match that I can tell you, hey, what about this? What about that? Especially since Chance hasn't seen it. But go back and see it. If you got an hour of free time after this, obviously watch our video. If you got another hour of free time,
make sure you hit the like too. Hit the like.
Yeah. Just watch the last two matches. If you got plenty of time, or if you gotta, you gotta download it, you gonna go back and forth, watch the whole card. Card is fire. There's very few misses. Maybe skip the first match, skip a couple of those. Okay, you heard which ones I say you skip. The Great Muda, blah 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 blah. But if you're not, if you only watch a couple, watch these last two. Because Jay White, his interest is on fire. But you know this boy, you know he gonna work. You know what it is. And Okada, again, you know what? You've seen his accolades. He got 6-star matches and shit. Go back and watch this match. There's nowhere I can point to and say, look at this.
This don't have nothing to do with what you're about to say, but it kind of does, because I'm going to keep going. But you just made me think. Yo, Funko, if y'all ever watch this video, y'all know I do the Funko Pops. I got all my peoples over there. I got more over here you can't see. We ain't finished with the room. Funko. I told y'all get the Usos. You haven't did that yet. But can I get a Jay White Funko Pop? Like, can I get a Switchblade John? You know what I mean? With the gear, with the long goatee. Like, can I get one? I mean, because y'all did the Kenny, y'all did Cody, y'all did the Bucks, and that was it. Can I get a Jay White John? But go ahead, my bad.
No, you good. So yeah, go back again because these are you can say what you want about Okada, but these are two technical wrestlers. So again, there's not a lot of spots, but there's some great grappling. There's some great storytelling because again, these two got history. Jay White's always talking shit about everybody at the top of New Japan, so he's got history with everybody. He's Jay White. He's Switchblade, and he came in. I ain't gonna lie, and I don't know if I'm becoming more of a wrestling nerd as time goes on, but we talk about attire and what it's supposed to mean a lot of times, especially with like Seth and that run he went on with the crazy clothes. But you know when a wrestler wears white to the ring, it's supposed to mean. When Randy's wore white to the ring a couple times, when a wrestler wears white to the ring, you know it's about to be a banger. White at SummerSlam never missed.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up. Check the stats. If a wrestler's wearing white and it's a SummerSlam match, it ain't been a bad match yet. So this holds true for this match as well. But also, I'm pretty sure in my mind, I'm pretty sure the person wearing white usually wins. But Okada was having none of that. He came out with peacock feathers and all his grand shit, and he put Jay White in the bed. But
you know why I knew?
I hope it's not over.
You know why I knew Okada was gonna win? I'm gonna tell you why. Besides the fact that he's John Cena over there, you know why I knew he was gonna win? I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm pretty sure that's why he did it. Because my man's good at storytelling too. Every day Jay White's been posting 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1 versus Okada. So he was just down. He was just hyping the fucking record so bad. That's he's gonna lose. Like he's hyping the record. The same way that Michael Cole used to always say, "Oh, they've never lost. It's never happened before," and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna happen."
Yeah.
So that's the same way I kind of knew. But yeah, I haven't watched the match, but oh well.
So yeah, again, not much to say on that match because
You can't top what went before that.
I think, bro, if this was no belts involved or if you could switch belts, they should have had that order. They had to know.
You had to know Kenny and Will.
Like, especially because, again, there's no way we talk about how, again, it's wrestling, so it's planned. It depends on how loosely, we could plan different ways, it could be more loose, it could be more, but you had that spot with the blood spot, certain parts of this match had to be said before, and those should have been the telltale sign that, wait, this is definitely going to be a banger. Not to say they should have been like, hey, Jay White and Okada not going to put on a good match, because again, they did, but maybe it's hindsight. But I just think you had to have known that.
Yo, make sure y'all like and subscribe if you watching. You haven't did it yet. Community tabs be fire. I make sure I post all the rumors and shit like that. It goes on. Merch be on sale. Discord be free. Like do all that good stuff. Join the Patreon, support the channel. Let's get us to the next level. So we said, where do we go with Jay White? Interesting enough, Villain, who's a member of the channel, he did point out he still could introduce Sasha to the Bullet Club, which would be a whole different thing that we haven't seen yet. Like official member. Like we do know Carl Anderson's wife was in it, obviously, but like actually bringing in an era of women. Like I already think if you haven't seen it, go search through the channel. We did ranking of the Bullet Club members. I got Jay White as number 1. My man Kenny, he did him dirty. Don't worry about that. But the fact that I think he's already number 1, entering a female stable or at least one person could put him to the whole next level of Bullet Club.
Who do you think it should be?
Besides Sasha? It depends on the working relationships. Like, if WWE is working with them, why not a Mia Yim or Michi, whatever her name is now? That would be fire.
So one of these countries one of them gotta hire me because I was just think about it. You can do it both ways. Let's say, what if Sasha Mercedes Moné wins the belt of Kyrie?
Which might happen.
Which could happen. What if she takes the belt back? She takes the belt back.
Where's she taking it to?
WWE.
Okay.
Kyrie needs help getting it back. She already been in WWE. That didn't work into her, and she needed help. Oscar's not enough help. She got Oscar over there, but she needs some more. She joins the Bullet Club. But who's the leader? Jay White. Let's bring the whole squad over. Then Jay White's done the thing you talked about. First person to have a woman join the Bullet Club, have a good angle, and we have another invasion. Because that's failed so many times. We got to get it right at least once.
I think the only way it would, it's going to be fire regardless. I think the only way it works in WWE is AJ has to be healed. the club have to be there, and you have to involve Finn. Like you have.
I think
I mean, you say of course, but we wanted that so much when AJ came, and that didn't ever happen. So
that's true.
you have to involve that and have make it a whole Bullet Club type shit. If you don't do that, then I think it'd be much more popping bringing Bullet Club and the female
And then
Bullet Club.
And then you got the Bloodline versus the Bullet Club. I'm just saying. You see, this is why stables in wrestling is good.
Like that would definitely be fire. But if it doesn't work that way, I think it would be much better in AEW because there's more members, and Tony's more open to doing shit, regardless if it lasts or not. He's more open to at least having it on a pay-per-view, so it gets that money.
That's true. Forbidden Door was a thing, so.
Impact is cool. Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna hate on Impact this year. I really want it to be something because it looks like it has some players over there. Only issue I said I have is the audio issue.
Well, again, we talked about going to shows. Impact was in Miami last year, so
I think
this year.
I think they
That might be what we put on the channel.
I think they do a couple of Kissimmee drawings too.
Hey, we can make that happen.
So I really want them to succeed. So because I used to watch Impact when AJ and Samoa Joe and that shit used to be fire and beer money and shit.
Beer money.
So yeah, but other than that, like last time Jay White went to, cause my bad, cause Chris Bay and them are still over there in Impact or no?
I think so.
So it makes sense. It makes sense. But last
No,
time,
Chris Bay definitely, because he just, new tag team, all that. We talked about the last video, yeah.
but last time he was over there, I feel like he didn't really get that kind of reaction about Impact. But I could be wrong.
I mean, we could also say, there wasn't much of any reaction when he was over there on Impact.
But I really feel Jay could get that AJ pop at the Rumble.
I'm telling you, that Rumble time, I don't know why I didn't think about it until we started doing the video, but we maybe we talk about doing a Rumble preview because it'll be closer after that time and stuff like that. Because obviously we're going to do a Rumble preview, it's us and it's the Rumble. But, I mean, who else we going to take her? I mean, they got to do something. The Rumble's got to.
They have to have a pop or somebody.
One of my favorites. And we need some pops though, because we got Edge 2 years ago, but since Edge, what have we gotten? I mean, yes, it's only been a Rumble and a half since then, but I'm just saying, like, the Rumble, Survivor Series might be coming back, but that had died for me for a long time. So they might be fixing that because they finally done feuds instead of Raw versus SmackDown. That's good. Rumble, okay, obviously WrestleMania is never gonna die. SummerSlam, Party Never Stops. It was still pretty good. The Rumble seems to be the one of the big four right now.
Only other pop they can get.
That's hurting the most.
Only other pop they can get is CM Punk.
That ain't happening.
And I feel like CM Punk is done. If
that's not happening, no fucking way.
If it's true that half the locker room doesn't want CM Punk back in AEW, especially Chris Jericho, which I think he has a big ear on Tony, then I think CM Punk is pretty much done with wrestling. Which at the end of the day,
because there's no way he's not done with AEW. He's not done with wrestling.
At the end of the day, what does he really need to come back wrestling for? I think he came back because it was an itch thing and it seemed like a good thing at the time. But other than that, why you gotta come back? You're done. No, not shade to you because Phil, I think you might be cool. I don't know you like that, but other than that, like, what's the point? Like, and then only imagine, what if you have another run in WWE that either turns out injury wise or backstage shit the way you do with AEW, then your returns will probably go down as the worst in history. So why do that to yourself?
Yeah, 100% agree. Because it's definitely not worth it.
But yeah, overall, what do you give Wrestle Kingdom so we can wrap it up for our peoples? At a 5
out of 10.
At a 5. Let's make it short. Because 10 is too big. 10 is too big. Pause. You give it 4?
4 out of 5. I mean, if we give it 4.5 out, the only thing that would have made it a 5 is literally if they would switch the order of those last 2 matches. It's the only thing they did wrong, I think. The card's a little long, but the motor spots, why it's in there. I already explained that. I mean, again, we know why it's long. Maybe you could take 2 or 3 things off a card.
I was gonna say, like, I could probably do 4 because there's some matches in there I just didn't care for. But I'm also not an advocate watcher of New Japan either to probably have bought into that. So as a casual New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, I think 4 is pretty good because the matches that did hit that I wanted to see were fire. And Sasha, aka Mercedes Moné, was fire. So yeah, that's what it is, folks. So people, the ones that came through, the ones that are gonna watch later, appreciate y'all. You already know, wrestling behind the curtain.
Go get the merch. Wrestling fans are toxic as you know.
Merch is 20% off right now, depending on when you watch the video. But for the next 2 days, 3 days, it's 20% off. Link is in the description box. Discord is free. We talk wrestling all day. Shout out to Ryan Satin, Sean Ross, and all them. But you're not really talking to them, even on Twitter. You know what I mean? They probably don't even hit you back. We talk in Discord to everybody that's in there. So come join. And it's free. Join the Patreon this year. We're trying to take it to another level. When y'all join the Patreon, it's money that we take to help the channel go. I can also try to give my man Kenzo something. Plus, it helps. Plus, it helps with the giveaways. So, you know, we get wrestling tickets, shit like that. You know, we can do giveaways and shit like that. Contests and all that good stuff. What's the last thing? What's the last plug? Oh, if you want to talk live on the chats when we go live, hit that YouTube membership so you can get up in here and popping. Other than that, I'll let Kenzo do his outro. I'll do my outro, and it's been real with y'all.
You already know. Usually I give a straight shot. No shot. Today I came with all the smoke. You feel me? So
one smoke, one chase. Yo, son, on the side note, on the side note, you know I play Call of Duty every night, right?
Yeah.
Son, I pulled so many tokes yesterday, like I was trying to impress Snoop Dogg, like it was way out of character. I came upstairs, I was like, yo, I'm going to sleep. Like I was like, I hope my niggas don't hit me up on the Discord because we do have a Discord for Call of Duty too. It's in the description box as well. I was like, yo, please don't hit me up on the Discord because I'm out like a light. 10 o'clock, I was done. So, with that being said, y'all already know how to find us. 2023, I hope it's good for y'all. It's going to be great for us. Like I say, be yourself.